exciting time to be alive. Waking up in the dream. June 7th, Tuesday in Thailand. June 6th in the United States. Got a lot to cover today. Going to keep it really simple. But for those that are tuning in to this transmission, and have come here to be part of the shift, what I'm going to share will definitely amplify and accelerate the shift for you and for the others. So the topic is embodying these new energies for healing and manifestation. And right now, so many people are reporting and claiming the huge energetic shifts coming into the planet right now. The fact that millions of people are now awake and aware of this predicted shift is accelerating the creation of these newer timelines beyond 3D. So, since we are creating our realities with our thoughts and our words and our vibrational frequency, it's imperative that we begin to consciously and intentionally track the frequency of that which we are thinking, speaking, and projecting onto the holographic field. Now, this might sound really obvious to people because it's common sense. However, I journey with people every week through this waking up in the dream process. And I can tell you that from the sessions that we do, from what gets shared, and in myself, there are programs running all the time. And it's just a challenge of what we signed up for here, to be able to understand how they're working and then how to consciously create our reality. And so what we're seeing right now in the 3D matrix is the amplification of distractions, lower vibrational frequencies, energies, fear-based, 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 and that's it, over and over and over. It's almost so ludicrous now that they just come up with a new thing every week, and then the one thing disappears. Many can see this. However, some can't. And so it's up to us to hold a space of compassion for the other people. That's really important, because that shows that we're not just judging them. We understand that they are our teachers and our mirrors. This is super key. It's easy for anybody to be a judgeaholic. I used to be one. But what that does is that magnetizes more of everything that we focus on and judge that we don't like into our reality. Because the hologram is reversed. It's 180 degrees. So that which we are focusing on, speaking about, vibrating in, whether it's happiness, love, joy, excitement, or judgment, hatred, resentment, lack of forgiveness, we are walking, talking, vibrating magnets. And it's super, super key to understand this, because it's the whole game. Conscious awareness, our thoughts, our words, our frequency, our imagination, and our belief system, and the frequency that we put behind those is creating our reality. There's nobody that can deny that. And so let's have some fun diving in to some of these tools that one can use every day. And if you're watching this and you're tuned in, it's pretty apparent that you're here to be part of the shift. Otherwise, you would have no interest in what I'm saying. I would just seem like a weird dude, which maybe I am. And I'm okay with that. So let's have some fun and amplify the field. And I really recommend what I share on these lives took 20 years or more of deep study. One with my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the 4 Agreements of the Master of Love, and others just going down the rabbit hole and buying all the top spiritual books and studying that stuff and studying abundance and money, the subconscious. And really, the subconscious is the key. Hey, Jelf, great to see you, brother. It's all about the subconscious. Because here's what happens. There are programs running underneath that were implanted into us without our choice. Now, it was our choice to come down here, and part of our soul contract, we knew that was going to happen, and we knew that we would end up awakening and creating this new earth. We knew it, even if we can't remember it. However, the process was when we came in, we began to take on all kinds of programs from our parents, our grandparents, the school system, the media, all that. And it was all geared towards keeping us from waking up. That and hijacking our DNA. So once we get over that, being upset about that and going through the process of, I would have never chosen to come down here and go through all this. I probably said that 1,000 times. It wasn't until I did more research and decided that, well, I got 2 choices. I can either figure this out or I can commit suicide and leave the planet. And even though I considered that on a few occasions, that wasn't the path for me. So how do we begin to really, really track our frequency instead of being automatic reactors? Because that's how 3D is set up. All the media, all the information that goes against one another, you go on Google and you type in one thing and then you type in something else and you know they're lying to you. And it's like, how do I figure it out? How do I figure it out? Well, the good thing about that is that once you figure out that those in control have been lying to you, the first step is unplug. Take back your power. It doesn't mean don't ever use Gaggle again to, look up something. However, you've got to understand how they got into power and what their current agenda is. So we see this happening right now. And a lot of people, a lot of people that were following Q and the white hats and the good guys and the Arcturians and all this, we believe that we're being assisted. I believe that. I can't prove it. So what that does is that forces me in a beautiful way to take back my power and go, okay, I intend that we have assistance from benevolent ones. I intend that all this energy that's coming into the planet is absolutely amplifying our DNA, amplifying the frequency of the planet, amplifying consciousness in humanity. And you can see it. It's popping everywhere like popcorn. It is happening. Now, whether that's a combination of just us seeing that or something else, I don't know. But the point is, it basically forces me to go back into myself and go, okay, I don't know if the white hats are winning. I don't know who's a good guy and who's not. Some are playing both sides. I just don't know. So when I don't know, it doesn't make sense to get triggered in and to be putting all my chips in on counting on something outside of me that's going to save me. If there's people out there in the government that are doing great things, and I see that there are some people, that's great. However, I'm talking about consciously creating our reality every single day and not being sucked in by something that we have no control over. So the tools to do that are, what's really happening is most people are actually living in a virtual reality that wasn't even their choice. And they're so distracted by the external media and fear-based stuff, and it's like, it's all they can do to survive. And so we shower them with compassion. I've been there a million times. I go in and out of it. You know, I'm not always on a high, but using these tools in tracking my frequency, I come back real quick. So there's nothing more important than learning that you are a walking, talking, vibrating magnet. You have the power. Not only do you have the power, you are the creator. You're creating all of your reality. Now, there's a lot of people that's going to trigger, and they're going to go, no, that's bullshit. Or they don't feel like they have any control or any power. I understand. That's how they want you to feel. That's been going on for thousands of years. Hey, Barrett, great to see you, brother. So the shift is on. Anybody that's paying attention can see that something is happening, and it's big. And so my excitement and passion is to share what I learned from my teacher, because to me, these are the simplest keyword, simplest and most powerful life-changing tools I've ever learned. And I've gone to most 3-day seminars in Sedona and San Diego and Los Angeles and Las Vegas. I've spent over $100,000. I love investigating things. However, most of those 3-day seminars I went to had me all pumped up on day 3. And then a week or two later, I'm right back down because they didn't show me how to go in and clear the inner judgments, the inner wounds. A lot of people don't like the word wound. They don't like the word healing because, let's be honest, if we have to admit that we're wounded or we have something to heal, it can make us feel like we're less than. Let's get really clear. Every single person that came in to this reality had to go through a shocking entrance into a system that was rigged to basically brainwash people, lower their vibration, and then get them to pay to live on a planet, give up the 12 to 16 years of your life being programmed in school, and then giving up the best 65 years of their life so that they could then maybe become retired. When the average age life expectancy is 78. It's a diabolical plan, okay, we know it. So let's take our power back. And we don't need to fight to take it back. That's 3D. We use our awareness and we go, oh, okay. If it's true that I'm creating my reality with my thoughts, my words, my emotions, and my vibrational frequency, then what is the wisest thing that I could ever do? And how much time out of the day am I actually consciously and intentionally creating my reality? This is the number one question to ask yourself right here, because the majority of people are not doing that. People go out and they get the book, they do the course. It specifically explains that this is one of the most important things to do first thing every single morning. And I'm not talking down to anybody, like, you should know this. The average person wakes up out of the sleeping dream and automatically 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running. The same thoughts start running over and over and over every day. You know, it could be like, I got to get up, I got to get in the shower, I got to get the kids ready for school. I've only got a half hour to eat before I got to get into traffic. I got a work appointment, I got to stop off at the post office. All this stuff. And a lot of this might be your reality, that's fine. However, if we are not consciously and intentionally creating our reality with the power of our thoughts, our imagination, our excitement, and our vibrational frequency, very little is likely to change. And I see so many people going, I hope, I wish, I want, I try, I'm going to. It's difficult, it's hard. Those are all spell words. And they all tell your subconscious, it's not here yet. It's not happening. Or Yes, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult. So what does your subconscious create in your reality? Difficult challenges. So this sounds like such common sense because it's so simple. And yet, most people that I know of are not consciously creating their reality first thing every morning and then stopping sometime during the day. I have everybody that goes through the course with me or does the online course. It's laid out step by step, so simple that you set alarms on your phone. They go off every hour. If you don't catch them all, it's no big deal. But if you caught 3 or 5, then that's 90 to 150 more times a month that you are checking in, you're stopping, you're tuning into your body, you're stopping the mind from running with your breath, you're loving on every one of these trillions of cells that's loved on you, and you're getting clear into a 0 point state of mind. 0 point is clear and calm. It's not in the future and it's not in the past. This is where you consciously create and manifest your reality with power and clarity and precision. And then the next step is, while you're smiling, your vibration is going up. You envision whatever you envisioned in the morning. You do a shorter version or a longer version. But people aren't doing this. They're so distracted that many are not doing it. I'm not saying nobody's doing it. I'm not saying nobody's meditating. I'm just saying, even the people that have gone through my course, they might reach out to me a couple months later and say they're having issues. And I say, when did you stop using the simple tools? And they're like, yeah, I got to get back on it. These are so simple, and there's really only 3 of them. And if you practice them and write them down, it's that simple. It's going to completely change your life in every area. And anybody that wants to test it can simply test it. But it works. I've watched people go through this for 20 plus years. It's the fastest process I know of. So if anybody has any questions, please pop them in. This is an open Q&A. There's no judgment here. It's all light. Anybody that posts a question helps everybody else, because for some reason, as soon as one person asks the first question, everybody else relaxes and the comments just start flowing. I don't know why that is, but so if anybody has a question about creating your reality or inner healing, which is what we're going to get into, because if you don't do the inner healing, it's unlikely you're going to move beyond 3D, because if you're still holding a wound or judgment or lack of forgiveness or inner pain or shame or guilt, those frequencies don't exist in 5D. So it's not like, well, I have to be completely 100% perfectly clear. I don't think so. I think we're moving in between dimensions like this all the time. But the key is, if we do not go in and clear these lower 3D matrix programs, hey, Brian, great to see you. Thank you. Then we're going to keep recycling back down into lower dimensions, and we're going to keep attracting timelines and events and relationships that are going to mirror that. So it's really super key to put these tools into practice. And so let me go to my notes here really quick. Because the first thing is agreeing and realizing that your thoughts and your words and your subconscious beliefs, more importantly, because you can do affirmations all day long. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I have the perfect relationship with the most incredible man or woman. That's not going to do anything if you have a subconscious belief, like I used to, around lack and money, because that's what was mirrored to me when I was growing up as a kid, over and over and over. Money's hard, money's difficult. My dad died when I was young. My mom was in fear. My uncle had 8 kids. Everything was about lack of money. And that was drilled into my mind. So yeah, I bought a lot of books, Think and Grow Rich, The Secret, all this stuff. And I read them, and my mind would go, this is really good, this is really good, this is really good. And nothing changed. I did the EFT tapping. I had 11 CDs I used to listen to over and over. Didn't change anything. Why? Because the subconscious down here could say wherever it is. I don't know where it is. I always point it down here because it's not up here. Where is it? Subconscious is running the show. And we must learn to understand this. And the beautiful thing about the subconscious is that it's not difficult to figure it out. I used to think it was because nobody ever explained it to me in simple terms. Why is that? Either A, they didn't want us to know, which, you know, the people running the show that are in power right now, or that were in power, or that are losing power, they definitely didn't want us to. So here's the simplicity of it. Absolute simplicity. The subconscious is creating your reality. It's not necessarily your thoughts and beliefs. It's the underlying subconscious beliefs. And so, with the subconscious, here's the key. Your desire is either here right now or it's not. Simple, right? I either have abundance right now, wonderful health, incredible relationships, my beautiful home, world travel, lots of clients, whatever. It's either here right now or it's not. It's that freaking simple. They didn't teach that in The Secret. I bought 11 of the DVDs and gave them away at Christmas. I don't know who Rhonda Byrne's working for, but they left out the most important piece. Very interesting, isn't it? Wonder how it rose to be #1, sold millions and billions that fast. Very interesting, isn't it? I'm not saying, just observing, okay? So, when you awaken, first thing every morning out of the sleeping dream, because we're dreaming all the time, we're dreaming right now. When my teacher Miguel told me that the first time, I was like, because my ego couldn't control that. What? Really? Very interesting. The ego, the untrained ego, needs to be in control. The trained ego, for lack of a better word, ego, protection mechanism, survival program, whatever you want to call it, its #1 job is to keep us safe. And it thinks it needs to do that by being in control. And so you must be able to see that program. So again, any questions around the subconscious and creating your reality? First thing every morning, you awaken out of the sleeping dream while your head is still on the pillow. I wonder how many will do this after hearing this. Or just go, it sounds pretty good. But they'll wake up tomorrow and won't do it. They'll be distracted, or they won't set their alarm, or they won't set a note to do it. And then they'll go pay for another course that they hope is going to change their life. And I'm not saying it won't. I'm just saying this is the #1 key to consciously creating your reality. That's it. If anybody else can tell me a better key, I'm wide open to hear it. And I don't know it all. One of my #1 mantras is, I know nothing. But I figured out enough to track frequency, vibration of my words, my thoughts, my imagination, my belief. You know, when I realized that the belief system was a complete prison, that changed everything for me. My mind exploded in the best way. Most people get triggered if anything challenges their very tiny little prison of a belief system. And yes, it's a prison. For 99% of the people, it's a prison. First of all, your beliefs aren't even your own. Did you ever think about that? Where did your beliefs come from? Your beliefs aren't even your own. They were all given to you from external sources. Your parents, your grandparents, if you had, the school system, religion, history, which is a lie. Yeah, absolutely. And Jessica, I'll get to this in just a second. Thank you for asking this question because it's super, super key. I love it. So I'll just leave that out. Okay, so if you're not consciously creating your reality first thing every morning, don't expect much to change. Don't complain. These are the tools. You're hearing this right now. You can test it out for your own, and you can toss it aside if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, you didn't feel it, because it has to. You must. The universe, this holographic reality, must deliver that which you are vibrationally matching the frequency of. And also, again, super important, seeing it is already here now. This is why you have to fake it sometimes. Because you'll go, oh man, I'm so grateful, my dream home. And the ego goes, your home's not here. You're just saying that because you heard somebody say that. And then you just say, okay, Larry, you can go. I name my ego Larry. I invite you to name your ego so you can see the programs that it's running. I would do that right now. You can always change the name later, but if you're truly desiring to undo all this programming, which is going to lead to your freedom, I'm giving you some big, huge, priceless keys. Name your ego. The ego might come in and tell you it's not here yet. And then you just go, okay, please go sit in the corner. You're not needed right now. That's an automatic reaction. Automatic reactions are worthless unless they come from love, gratitude, joy, excitement, compassion, kindness. Most people are automatic reactors, or many are. However, unfortunately, they're automatically reacting to negative things. Most people are running 50 to 80,000 thoughts every single day, and it starts from the time they wake up. And 80% of those thoughts are negative. That's a fact. That's been studied. So how do you think somebody is going to consciously create their ideal reality if they don't take 100% control of creating their reality? And you know what? You can actually make this really freaking fun. It's not hard work. It's not difficult. Your ego might tell you that it is in the beginning because it might not want to give up its fake sense of control. But guess what? Let's use children as the example. Children are master manifestors. They came in as master manifestors. We came as master manifestors. And then we got all of our imagination programmed right out of us within the first 1 to 2 to 3 years of school, and whatever our parents said. Okay? So children, they don't have any limitations. Key word, no limitations. They operate and think and create from an unlimited point of view. Super key. This is our invitation to get back to this, because here's some truth for you. You are an unlimited creator. You have no limitations. Now you could spin on that and go, well, I can't regrow an arm back if I lost it or whatever. Really? Can't you? Are you sure about that? Are you 100% sure? Or is that just your belief based on your limited knowledge? We are unlimited. And most people aren't even scratching the surface of that. So the key is to begin to play bigger. That's what little children do. So every single morning, wake up, your head's still on the pillow, you realize that you just came out of this sleeping dream, and you begin to tune into your body. And you breathe. And you give love to every one of these trillions of cells that's been loving on you every single moment. Unconditionally, without you having to even do a thing. If that doesn't make your head spin, I don't know what is. Or what would. Even when you're asleep, your blood is being purified, your heart is beating, you're having new cells made for every organ. There's trillions of functions happening every day. And the majority of people that I journey with, especially in the beginning, they do not truly love themselves. And if one does not truly love themselves and do the inner healing, 5D isn't going to be happening. So the first piece is really inner healing. So Jessica asked a great question. This is key. How do you track your frequency? In the book, I teach everybody step by step how to do it. I'll tell you how to do it. In the book, there's a sheet. It's a simple PDF sheet. It's called the Daily Tracking Sheet. You print it out. It's 2 pages. You begin to track every time. This takes 100% accountability. But if you want to free yourself, this is what you'll do. And you will start to see progress so fast, you'll be like, oh my God. You begin to catch every judgment, every fear, every doubt, every less than thought. Because those aren't who you are. You're an unlimited, sovereign, divine being that forgot how incredible they were when you came down into this lower dimensional earth. And so you must begin to keep track of every time you have a judgment. Judgment's the biggest addiction on the planet. You could start there and watch how the ego wants to justify how other people are wrong and doing this, the government. I mean, everything. All the way down to pedophiles, that was the last one I had to clean and clear. Because you cannot hold any judgment towards anyone else if you think you're going to move out of 3D into 5D. Judgment does not exist in 5D. Hate does not exist. It's one of the lowest frequencies. Resentment does not exist in 5D and beyond. You must forgive everyone. So how do you track the frequency, your daily frequency? You begin to tune in and pay very close attention to your thoughts, your words, your vibration, how they make you feel. And you begin to wake up every single morning and you love on your body and you lie in bed for a half hour and you love on your body and you amplify your frequency. And then after you've loved on your body and are truly, truly loving on yourself, then you consciously create your reality. And so I do it like I close my eyes and I'm envisioning wonderful health for my body. Abundance that just flows in and out of my life. I can give it away. I don't need to hold on to money. That's all fear-based. If you're holding on, you're in fear, and you must clear that if you want the money to flow. And the only way you can do that is by trusting and testing it out. You must trust and understand. Here's a really powerful mantra for you. This changed my life. And just practice it. You know, your mind might not agree with it right away, but if you begin to play with it, keyword play, not work. Work is 3D. Play is 5D and beyond. It's light. It's happy. It's playful. It's our natural state. You'll see results in your finances. But every time you clench down and go, I can't afford, you're programming your subconscious. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. That's too much. That's too expensive. And the 3D matrix is set up so that you'll do this over and over and over. Look at what they're doing right now. Gas prices through the roof. Everything else is going through the roof. It's okay. It's part of the collapse. Trust. But here's the mantra for allowing money to really flow in your life. And it's this. Everything that I give or spend has already been returned to me. Because in reality, in this hologram, I'm actually giving it to myself. Everything I give or spend has already been returned to me. Download that into your subconscious and watch what happens. But then the next time something pops up, have the awareness by tracking your frequency. If you close down, you can feel that. You can feel a judgment. When you practice this and practice the tools in the book, and there's lots of videos on my YouTube channel, Portal to Awakening. Let me post that in. There's the link for that. There's 100 hours of me sharing these tools. I know there's a million things to check out and a million distractions, but I'll tell you what, conscious awareness is the only game in town. Nothing else matters, except for love. You know, love and excitement, the highest frequency. But if you don't understand conscious awareness and how you're creating your reality, and you don't go in and clear out the automatics, you're going to lose to the ego and the automatic reactor every time. So Jessica, is that helpful? So the way to do it is use a daily tracking sheet. At the end of the day, I have everybody write in their number. I had 369 judgments today. Those are all about me, every single one. If you're still saying that your judgments you're pointing out there, you don't understand how the hologram works. It's really tricky. Because yeah, you want to judge people that are harming your children and that are harming, the food, the air, the water. But you lose when you judge. Here's a very powerful mantra of observation. Instead of judging, notice the tendency to want to judge and project. Stop that. Take a breath. Go, okay. I just caught that. So I didn't judge. Right on. High five. And then just say, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting is a mastery statement. Isn't that interesting comes from somebody who has practiced being a conscious observer instead of an automatic reactor. Automatic reactors lose and have to relive the same judgments, same triggers, same lack of forgiveness over and over and over and over and over. Sometimes lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You've got an opportunity in this lifetime right now, especially if you're listening to this. These are the keys. So instead of reacting, which loops us and is going to, or judging or projecting, which means we're going to attract that same thing over and over and over again until we figure it out. I was a master at this. I was a judgeaholic. I was taught to be in Catholic school. I thought that's how we healed things, by pointing out everything that was wrong. But we're walking, talking, breathing magnets. So I was just actually amplifying and giving more energy to everything that was wrong instead of focusing on all the incredible things. Wow, there's a beautiful flower, a beautiful leaf. There's a squirrel. There's a running stream. I love the clouds. Only give energy to that which you desire to see more of. Super key. So, yeah. So tracking our moment-to-moment frequency is everything. It's everything. Because if you don't track your frequency, all you're going to do is allow the ego to run its automatic program over and over and over. Because it's going to feel justified, and here's why. Here's how they are able to keep people recycling over and over and over and over again. Check this out. People have something that challenges their flimsy little shallow belief system, or something gets said or mirrored back to them that triggers an unhealed wound that hasn't been cleared. They automatically get triggered. They go into automatic reaction mode. Now, why is it that they think they're right and justified? I'm right, God damn it. Why is that? Because they're not right. In fact, they're 100% wrong, and they're just recycling, and they're going to have to live that over and over and over and over and over again. So how does the 3D matrix keep those that are not aware stuck in recycling, looping patterns? Because when the belief system gets triggered, the untrained person, the automatic reactor, gets an emotional reaction. And that emotional reaction tricks them into believing that they're right, but they're not right. They simply had an emotional reaction and they don't understand how their reality is being created, so they feel justified and they just keep looping and attracting the same abusive people in relationships, or whatever it is, the same lack in money. Yeah. So you've got to be able to track the frequency of every thought, every word, every emotion, every belief, and use these tools to either be more loving, be more excited, be more grateful, which is the key to magnetizing everything you ever desired. I challenge everyone here to wake up every morning, do the self-love on every one of your cells. I would be willing to bet that the majority of people don't do that and haven't really thought about it. I had to figure that out on my own. And I didn't love myself for a long time. I had so much shame and guilt and judgment and all the stuff I did wrong and messed up, and all those programs of Catholic religion and you're going to hell and all this bullshit, man. It's a great program. They really know how to recycle people. And you can thank them instead of being angry at them, because they're perfectly playing their role. And for whatever reason, you chose to be here at this incredible, incredible time where the shift is happening. It's pretty incredible. And yeah, it's intense. But you have the keys and you have the tools. And I invite everybody to come back and watch this. And go to the YouTube channel, get the book, get the online digital course. You can go over it forever. There's no time. It doesn't expire. I mean, this stuff is ridiculously cheap. Or come and do 30 days with me, do a mentorship. I'll blow your mind. And I don't say that with an ego. Just that I know how to go into your story that you tell me in the first 5 or 10 minutes and just completely dismantle it. When you begin to go through this process and you watch the PowerPoint trainings and you clearly see how the ego's mind is tricking most people, you'll go, oh my God, almost everybody is falling for that. But once you see it, it won't work on you anymore. But you must be able to see a program in order to dismantle it. Otherwise, the ego will justify it and just tell you that you're right. Why? Because it receives the emotional trigger and it hasn't learned that that's the trap. Without awareness, that tricks them into thinking that they're right. It's one of the greatest deception programs ever. Because it's energetic, it's emotional, it's thought, it covers everything. And it traps people for decades and lifetimes. So let me see if I can figure this out. Observing self-do-blame thing. I'm not sure if I understand. I'm not taking full responsibility. Observing the self-blame thing? Is that what you're saying? Well, then, every single time I have a low vibrational thought, a judgment, a trigger, a fear, a doubt, anything that does not come from love, gratitude, the higher frequencies, excitement, I've trained myself to feel the frequency of that. You must do this. There's no getting around it. This is the best news ever, because nobody ever told you this in school, ever. Maybe they did if you went to a really special school with an awake teacher, but this is not in the school system. They want automatic reactors. That's how they control everybody. That's how they get everybody to mask up and to be in fear 3 years later when it's 100% bullshit. Okay? So you must learn to track the frequency of your thoughts and your words and your emotions. And you won't learn to do it unless you commit to doing it starting today or tomorrow, or, well, I'll do that someday. The likelihood is that you won't. because the ego is going to want to stay in control. Why did I do it? I was forced to do it. I was either going to die and leave the planet out of misery, or I had to study what my teacher was telling me. He didn't even teach me how to do this, but he did show me that the belief system wasn't mine, and that changed my entire life. Because now I know that your belief system's not even yours, but the 3D matrix is triggering every single untrained human that doesn't understand that. And they know how to do it perfectly. So we observe the blame, the judgment, the automatic reaction, the less than feeling, the fear, the doubt, whatever. We immediately stop. Immediately. We put our hand on our heart and we take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Why do we do that? Because it stops the mind from running. Because when you have a trigger, the mind wants to talk about it. Oh, yeah, they always do that. I can't stand that. Oh, they always... Yeah, it's running off the emotional trigger. So it's going to run and feed. That's what it does. If you can't see that, you'll never dismantle it. So you stop and you love on your body, which lets it know, number one, that you love on it. You love it. Number two, that it's safe in this moment. Number three, take a couple of slow, deep breaths until you drop down into your heart. Now, the idea is to get into what we call 0 point. 0 point is where you're not in reaction mode, you've calmed down, and you can ask the $1 trillion question. What is this trying to show me or teach me about me? The untrained 3D matrix person will point out there, these people are doing this to me, everything's wrong, they're wrong. Yeah, matrix is set up beautifully to think that everything out there is doing something to you. And you could make an argument that in a way they are. Yeah, it appears that they are poisoning the air, the food, the water. Yeah, I get it. But automatic reactors lose every time. Automatic reactors lose every time. A conscious observer will stop and go, oh, I just got triggered. I just had a judgment. I know that's about me. If you can be open to this, it'll change everything in your reality. Everything. Guaranteed. So, when you have a trigger, any trigger at all, you stop, take some breaths, stop the mind from running, and ask, what is this trying to show me or teach me about me? So in the case of the self-blame thing, I don't know, because I don't know you and I know nothing. However, that tells me that there's a pretty good chance that there's a subconscious belief running that either tells you that you're not good enough or that you always mess things up or whatever it is. That's for you to go in and figure out. You can journal it out or whatever. Right? So, any questions on inner healing? I wonder if somebody will ask another question. That was a good question. I learn. I like that. I learn all the time. Yeah, so, a lot of people don't want to go near the inner healing thing. And there's no way around it. And so many people have been taught that it's difficult. And it's not. They've been taught it's difficult, so it's the last place that they want to go. It's the last place anybody ever tries. It's very interesting. Very interesting. But with these tools, if you know you can't move into 5D unless you heal, then what does that tell somebody that's observing? Healing is the number one thing that I must do. Then I must consciously create my reality every single day and in every moment and track my frequency. That's it. Any questions around that? This is gold. This is absolutely life-changing for those that do it. And I observe people do it every month. They go through the course and they're like, oh my God, everybody needs to go through this. And I'm like, yeah. It's not because I created it. I created it out of survival. And I'm a guy that needs to find the fastest, easiest freaking way. Because I read all the books. I did most of the courses. 20, 30 years, and I still hadn't cleared my subconscious beliefs because nobody taught me how to track a frequency. Nobody taught me how to clear it. So I devised a system of how I would track it every single day until I could see it so clearly that I could feel the frequency of every single judgment, every less than thought, every lack thought, any lack thoughts around money, any fears around security or being taken care of by the universe. These thoughts are running 50 to 80,000 thoughts a day. You must get a handle on them. And you can do it while having fun. That's the whole key. Struggle, difficulty, hard, stress, work. Those are all 3D spell words. And they only come true if you believe them. So begin to track what you say. How many times you say, this is hard, it's difficult, I can't, money's difficult. Or how often do you think money's hard to come by? Is that program running underneath? Because that's a number one program, the 3D Matrix is pushing down everybody's throat, and they have since the beginning that the fake money was created. They did a great job. Now it's time to awaken and go, oh, I see what's going on here now. Okay. So now instead of reacting, I'm going to observe and I'm going to go, okay, what is that thought, belief, or reaction trying to teach me about me for my soul's highest growth? Because if you don't get it, it's just going to keep coming back around. So, yeah. So any questions? Any questions around manifesting your desired reality? Inner healing? Why somebody may be thinking about that? Yeah, oh, and setting the alarms on your phone. I'm sure a lot of people will breeze right on by this and go, yeah, it's a good idea. But how many will take the time to do it? If I told you I'd pay you $1 million if you would go through this course and do it, you'd do it, wouldn't you? Well, sure. What if I told you that this would change your life more than all the millions of dollars in the world and give you access to money and everything you ever desired? Would you do it? Well, I don't know. That kind of requires work, and I'm not really sure if it's going to work. But if you gave me $1 million, I'd do it. See how the mind runs its programs? I'm telling you, beyond a shadow of a doubt with proof, if you do this and use these tools, these 3 pieces, everything in your reality will shift for the better. I can't really make it any clearer, but it's an invitation. And we're all getting invitations all the time. So I understand. There's a lot of distractions out there. But that's why I do these twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. Because in reality, I'm just talking to Jeff. I'm talking to me. So I don't forget. Yeah. Hey, Pat. Great to see you. Yeah. So this is the deal. So yeah. So each month I take a handful of people through this 30-day journey. And it's life-changing. It includes the PowerPoint presentations. We are in contact pretty much every other day. We do a call every week. It's a long call. I don't put time limits on my calls. When we're in it, we're in in it. And so that's why I only journey with 4 or 5 people a month, because anybody that puts their trust in me, I'm there for them 1,000%. And so I go back and forth in Messenger with them. If I don't hear from them within 2 days, especially during the first 2 weeks when we're doing the inner healing and dismantling the belief system, then I'm reaching out. I'm like, hey, come on, let's play. It's the fastest thing I know. The fastest thing I know. So, anybody have any questions? Got to be a question out there around what I've discussed. Here's one from my friend there. It is fair to say there are multiple versions of ourselves. When we wake up, we tune into the frequency that best defines us in terms of our soul-loving evolution and state of awareness, which is a choice. Yeah, it's one powerful way to look at it, brother. Thank you. I love you. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is really, we've been programmed. And we've got to undo the automatics. There's no way around it. So check this out. This is a really great description that will allow you to maybe think about using these tools in your own life on a deeper level. So this is from somebody that went through the course. It's like, I thought I was already awake. Most people think they're awake if they can see that the government's lying to them and they're not in our best interest. That's what most people think awake is. That's just barely scratching the surface. And I think we're still in kindergarten or nursery school. But the next part is what's really important. This course gave me the tools to see programs and beliefs that were running underneath the surface that I was not even aware of, and my ego would defend and justify them again and again. We all do this until we see it, causing the same dramas to repeat. I was able to heal deeply hidden wounds from childhood, dismantle so many limiting beliefs and subtle reactionary programs that were running on automatic. Yeah. It truly changed my life and relationship in ways that I couldn't see until I experienced it. Yeah, so this is an opportunity to ask any questions if somebody has a question. I had to pay my teachers a lot of money. And I'm grateful because money's just a tool. But, you know, you have an opportunity to pick my brain, and I may or may not know the answer. But if it's around these tools, I'm pretty good at simplifying it. And so if you're sitting back and you're going, wow, I've got this issue, I don't really want to share it because I'm a little bit embarrassed. But if I did have the answer, I would feel so relieved. That's the way I used to feel when I would go to the 3-day dreaming weekends with my mentor. A lot of times I had something come up and I'd want to ask, but I felt uncomfortable asking because the other people in the small group would maybe judge me. That wasn't true at all. It was me judging me. Everything's about us judging ourselves. When we figure this out, things can really start to move. So, okay, well, if there's no questions, I'm going to get on with my day here. I greatly appreciate everybody that tunes in. And again, thank you for sharing. If you feel that anybody would benefit from these tools who's having a hard time right now, and I don't know who wouldn't benefit from these tools, no matter where they're at, please share this in other groups. I share it in some, but you know, it takes a lot of time to do it sometimes, and then I have to process this and upload it to my YouTube channel, and then I'll post that link as well so people can go back and watch it, and the people that are on my email list. And if you want to get on the email list, and I don't spam people, I only send out 2 or 3 emails a month. I may send more, but right now, that's what I'm doing. So if you'd like to join the community, there's a link right there. Yeah, you're so welcome. Glad you found it. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Let's catch up soon. So yeah, thank you, everybody. Have an incredible day or evening. I know in the U.S. it's evening. I think Barrett's in Bulgaria, so it's super early for him. And yeah, any questions, or if you're interested in the course, feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to get on a call with you. It's not a sales call. I'll just explain what we do and answer any of your questions. And yeah, I'm not interested in pulling anybody uphill. If it's 100% yes for you and you're like, yeah, I'm ready, then let's do it. It would be one of the most life-changing things you've ever done. But, you know, my door's open. So big love to everybody. Hey, Pat, cool. Yeah, I'm from California. Okay, everybody, have an incredible day, week. Use the tools. Come back and take notes on this. It'll be on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. And you'll see results, guaranteed. And I know a lot of you are probably already using the tools, so thank you for that. And stay excited. Stay excited. The energies that are coming into the planet are super, super high. We're getting blasted. And the key is to just take care of your body. You know, drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself, put good foods into your body, good thoughts, love on yourself, find as many things as you can to be grateful for, because that amplifies your magnet, and that's going to start to magnetize in more of everything that you say you're grateful for. More money, more wonderful people, more relationships, more beautiful animals, more flowers, more clouds. It just works that way. So really begin to track the frequency of the automatics and use the tools to clear them. And change your life. So big love from Thailand. And I'll be back on Thursday in the US. All right. Thanks again. Thanks for sharing the broadcast too.